All right. Meanwhile, cutting government spending would be like me going to a Ponderosa all-you-can-eat buffet and only having a small salad. By the way, not happening. The temptation is just too great. Ask anyone who's ever gone on a diet. Well, celebrity nutritionist Christine Avanti says that it is very tough to stick to anything that's good for you, and she has been there before. This is Christine 30 pounds ago. She didn't look bad then. She's looking major. No, not now. Christine is the best-selling author of Skinny Chicks Don't Eat Salads. That is a great title for a book, Christine. Good to have you.
Thank you.
So, Christine, your view is that easier said than done, but temptations are always there, right? So, as someone who gained weight back and then had to fight the battle of the bulge, of which I'm quite familiar, you got to show a day in and day out resolve. And diets aside, I don't see a lot of that in Washington. How do you advise them?
You know, I think that, I just come from a stance of a nutrition counselor. So with me, when I give people way too much to change in their life all at once, they tend to fail, especially if they don't see a big result since they're making such huge changes. I think it's a lot better to make a few small yet smart choices on what you're going to do with your nutrition, and you'll see, decent results within the first few days that are encouraging and motivating and keep people going. I think that's really the way to do it, is make a few smart decisions that are effective as opposed to a zillion little decisions that aren't as effective.
I think that's a very good point, and that's why apart from a lot of my colleagues and friends here, when I say I commend the president for what he's doing. Yeah, you could argue, well, he should put everything on the table. I think he should, and they should be cutting everything right now, and I think they should. But you have to crawl before you can walk, and walk before you can run, and if he sticks to this, trimming at the edges and non-discretionary spending, we might build up to discretionary spending. So that diet analogy, I think, is dead on. But even that, a lot of dieters fail at, right?
They do, and I think a big part of it is motivation and honestly doing it the smart way. With me, with dieting, I mean, you saw the photo of me. Okay, so back then when I was 30 pounds heavier, I used to do this extreme stuff, all or nothing, like, two-word diets, no sugar, no carbs, no fat, and hoping that that would get me my answers. And it's really never just a two-word answer. And it's
so what did you do to lose the 30 pounds? And by the way, you look fine 30 pounds ago, but that's another story. But what did you do to lose the 30?
I made some very smart decisions with my food. I started making subtle changes. I started combining my, my proteins with my carbs, eating every 4 hours as opposed to extreme starvation and a big binge, which was the big problem. And I do think that people need to go step by step.
You eat every 4 hours?
I eat every 4 hours.
Really? I eat every 4 minutes.
I just ate before I got here.
That could be the problem right there. All right, so you say by doing these kind of subtle things, so we don't gorge and binge and all that, and I guess the same, in a way, could be provided to spending, we'll slowly and correctly deal with the problem. This hot and cold stuff doesn't work, right?
Yeah, well, you'll get to your goal. I mean, I think changing everything all at once is too much of a shock to anyone's lifestyle. And maybe to, I'm not the greatest with politics, but, a huge shock to a system. And all these changes at once might be a bit much for a person trying to lose weight, maybe for politics, I'm not sure. But really, these subtle changes step by step, and then eventually you get to where you want to be, and you maintain that. You know what I mean? You don't want to do something where you have a huge change, it shocks the system, and then you're like back where you started. I'd rather see small changes that hold.
Right. That's why I'm encouraged by what I see. Now I just want to see them continue to do it, just like you with the 30 pounds, just bit by bit. Very good seeing, Christine. Very good take on this.
Thank you.
All right, well, former eBay chief Meg Whitman says she's running for governor of California because she's tired of politicians just chewing the fat and, unlike Christine, not cutting the fat. She's not buying this, quote, across-the-board spending freeze because for this billionaire business guru, it's pretty much all about the bottom line.
We have an enormous deficit, and you've got to look at every single department, every single line item in order to get this back into shape. I mean, I think that would be pretty self-evident.